Without further ado, I'd like to introduce State Representative Nancy Jenkins. Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you, Pat, and thank you, everybody, for being here today. It's great to see such a good crowd and people have an interest in this important topic. Well, it's no secret Michigan is at a crossroad, and we have a choice. Do we become part of the problem or part of the solution? Do we call on and rely on the guarantees of a federal government wallowing through the thickening debt, slap a Band-Aid on the problem, and sit back? Or do we take matters into our own hands, mend the wound, and secure a healthy, self-sufficient Michigan for our children? I lean toward the latter. Before highlighting the many contrasts between the alternative solutions presented in House Bill 4714 and Senate Bills 459 and 460, it's worth noting a couple crucial similarities. First of all, children up through the age of 18 and at up to 200% of the federal poverty line are eligible for Medicaid and will remain eligible for coverage under either government-dependent Medicaid reform or the newly proposed patient-centered care provision. Additionally, pre-existing conditions and coverage for the elderly and disabled are provided for under both systems. And finally, those currently on Medicaid will not only maintain their coverage, but will receive improved access to primary care under PCC. However, while these provisions are the same, the two proposals are not. For example, the Affordable Care Act's expansion of Medicaid increases government spending by approximately $2 billion, while PCC decreases government spending by up to $7 billion. Given the financial hole from which our state is just now beginning to emerge, it seems foolish to rapidly reestablish that burden, which will be carried by the next generation. Yet this is not the most pressing issue, nor does it trump the fact that people need health care, and they need it now. For that reason, any proposal that passes must be the most effective option for Michigan's hardworking citizens. So rather than taking more than half of any dollar put toward Medicaid and using it for bureaucratic overhead and administrative costs, I and my fellow legislators owe it to each citizen to put that dollar to a better use. It is our responsibility. It is a responsibility that dictates cutting out the middleman and putting your tax dollars directly to use for you. A responsibility that dictates eliminating administrative expenses and instead establishing a low-income trust fund available for funding the care of anyone below the federal poverty line in the state. As a reminder, anyone above the federal poverty line will already be receiving federal subsidy to purchase insurance. And rather than government unnecessarily creating, organizing, and operating a single exchange that begs for crony capitalism and monopolization, the state can act responsibly and put money back into your hands and back into our economy by merely guiding private exchanges through a low-cost licensing process. But government officials are not the only ones capable of acting responsibly. Senator Kolbach and I believe Michigan citizens are equally as capable and deserve that opportunity. Therefore, we don't think it necessary for government to micromanage your health care and your spending. With the savings gained from cutting the red tape, so to speak, the patient-centered care solution empowers citizens to control their own health care by creating individual, tax-exempt health savings accounts. You and your doctor make decisions regarding your care, not some bureaucrat miles away. Combining the creation of these accounts with the availability of low-cost private plans offered through a state-licensed exchange begins quite the chain reaction. Commercial-grade private insurance for individuals leads to doctors being paid in full for their services rather than at the current Medicaid rate of 47 cents on the dollar. This leads to improved access to primary care for individuals and attracts high-quality physicians to our state. But the benefits don't stop there. Increasing competition among state-licensed private exchanges drives down prices, reduces premiums, and enables job growth throughout the state. Michigan will attract employers by eliminating the costs businesses would incur from high premiums and governmental mandates under the ACA. New businesses mean more jobs. More jobs mean lower unemployment. Lower unemployment means fewer on Medicaid, and fewer on Medicaid means increased funds and elevated care for those remaining in the program. Shifting gears, If we do move forward under the Affordable Care Act expansion, be sure to closely follow two separate sets of waivers required to be granted us by the federal government a year or so after implementation takes place. Why? Because if the waivers are not issued, the rug will be pulled out from under us. The expansion evaporates and the complications begin to pile. New enrollees are threatened with the loss of coverage promised them for years. The state is forced to pick up the tab for a fleeing federal support system, and months, even years of systematic organization go out the window. Now there is no doubt we must reform Medicaid, but inviting countless individuals to jump on a ship that is sinking amidst ever-deepening federal debt and uncertainty is not the answer. In fact, it is irresponsible. Repairing the ship and changing its course is the only long-term viable solution for Michigan, its health, its economy, and its future. The patient-centered care solution repairs that ship. It's an excellent reform and one that I am happy to support. Thank you.